But listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't speak over me. Ms. Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen, Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me.
Where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
You can go back with the bailiff. Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
All right, everyone. Today's courtroom showdown is something else. We've got a no-nonsense judge facing off against a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen who clearly believes she's cracked some kind of secret legal code. She actually walked into court holding a tiny piece of paper with the typical sovereign citizen talking points, like she thought reading a few lines would magically shut the whole case down and send her home without consequences. Apparently, the plan was simple. Walk in, drop a few so-called legal bombs, confuse the court, and walk out like nothing happened. Unfortunately for her, that's not how the legal system works. This one is definitely going to be interesting to watch unfold. The confidence she walked in with compared to the reality she's about to face, that's the real show here. Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments, and let's jump right in to see how this intense hearing plays out.
Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the beneficiary of what estate? Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand.
Beneficiary of the estate.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find that person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself, or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you, or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a court of record?
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it, and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus, and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim and not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, defective defense.
It's overruled.
Okay.
You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
No, that's definitely not fine. At this point, she's honestly making herself look ridiculous, and the entire courtroom can see it. Meanwhile, the judge deserves some credit here. She's sitting calmly, letting this woman go on and on with her sovereign citizen script, almost like she's waiting for the moment the nonsense finally runs out. And that's what makes these situations so strange. A lot of sovereign citizens genuinely believe they've discovered some hidden loophole in the law. They think a few phrases like, "I do not consent," or "I don't recognize your jurisdiction," will somehow make charges disappear. But the courts have ruled again and again that those claims simply don't work that way. Watching this unfold is honestly a mix of confusing and fascinating. She actually seems polite and respectful, even calling the judge "Your Honor," but it's obvious she's completely lost when it comes to how the legal system really works. At this point, it almost feels like she's just throwing random arguments out there, hoping something sticks. But I'm curious, how does someone even end up this deep in the sovereign citizen rabbit hole? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For now, let's keep watching because this hearing is far from over.
So here's the thing, Ms. Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor.
Ms. Pugh, don't speak over me.
Respectfully, Your Honor, for my incarceration.
Ms. Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on. Listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer and your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're going to do. You can go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's overruled.
Duty is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
Well, that was definitely awkward. But don't go anywhere, because the story doesn't end here. This sovereign citizen actually returns to court later for another hearing, and trust me, we're going to cover that one too. At this point, though, the judge deserves serious recognition for her patience. Dealing with arguments like this has to feel like debating a brick wall, except the brick wall thinks it's an expert in constitutional law. Still, the judge keeps her composure. She's calmly trying to sort through the confusion and bring the conversation back to reality. Sure, she's firm and direct when she needs to be, but she's also giving this defendant plenty of chances to speak and explain herself. Personally, I think she's handling the situation pretty well so far, but I'd like to hear what you think about her approach. Now let's move forward to the next hearing and see if things escalate even further.
Perfect. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Jeffries has been appointed to represent you. He's trying to get caught up real quickly on all the information and the discovery in your case. I'm going to reset your case so that he can get all of that. Once he gets it, he'll be out there to go over it with you, and we'll see if we can get an announcement at the next court date.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree to comply with any of the appointed court agents, considering that their first duty is to the state.
I understand. We've had this conversation before.
Confidential, and for the record, I'll be representing myself.
So if you want to represent yourself, there's some things. Ms. Pugh, stop talking over me. If you want to stop talking over me. If you want to represent yourself, then there is a process that we have to go through, and we'll do that today. If that's what you want to do, we'll get your case set for trial, and we'll go forward that way. It is highly inadvisable for you to represent yourself. Lawyers have many, many years of training. They understand the law. They understand how a trial works, because here's what happens. When you're in a trial and you represent yourself, you're expected to know and follow all of the rules of evidence, all the rules of procedure. And so you're really at a disadvantage if you don't know those things. And so you have to do everything just like the assistant district attorney would. And if you don't, you're going to be in front of a jury, and it's going to show, and it's just not going to be, it usually does not work out in your benefit. But I have to go through with you some questions first before we do that. And then if you still want to do that, then there's a couple of options, and we'll go over those as well, okay? So I am supposed to ask you, I'm going to go through these questions. I need you to answer them if you want to represent yourself, because this is required, all right? So have you ever studied the law? Okay. Have you ever represented yourself before in any kind of criminal matter? Okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
I never been accused of it.
Okay. And so do you know, and we've gone over before, I think, what the range of punishment is if you're found guilty on a jury? Do you know what that is? Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me pull you up here. We'll go over that again as well. The date of that allegations from June 22nd of 2021. And what that means is if you're found guilty, that the range of punishment that the jury could give you is between 2 years as a minimum punishment up to 10 years in prison, anywhere in between. Do you understand? And you answer out loud just for the record.
Do I understand? No, I don't understand.
What do you not understand about that?
I'm not even going to lie, I completely saw that response coming. After watching so many of these sovereign citizen cases, you start to recognize the exact script before it even happens. At this point, it's almost predictable. Breaking down these arguments day after day can honestly feel exhausting because the same misunderstandings keep repeating over and over again. And the bigger issue is the amount of time and resources it takes to deal with situations like this. Courts and law enforcement already have limited resources, and cases like this can slow everything down for everyone else. What's interesting here, though, is that she didn't bring the little script she had earlier. Maybe spending some time in custody convinced her to memorize it instead. But here's the real question. If she decides to represent herself, things could get very serious. Charges like these can carry heavy consequences. So now we have to see what choice she makes. Does she defend herself, or does she take a different approach? Let's jump back into the hearing and find out.
I don't understand.
So here's the thing. If you want to represent yourself, by law, you have to be able to understand these things. Otherwise, I've got to appoint an attorney for you. So you can't just say, I want to represent myself because I don't like the attorney or I don't like the process. This is the process that you're in. You live in Texas, you live in the United States. This is the law that applies to your case. So what do you not understand about the range of punishment if you're found guilty? And I'd be glad to explain it.
I don't understand because I've never even been wrong.
That's what a jury's for, right? And so if you say you're not guilty, then you go in front of a jury and they determine, after they listen to the evidence, if you're guilty or not. That doesn't have anything to do with if they find you guilty, you understanding that they could send you to prison for between 2 years and up to 10 years. Do you understand that part? What are you, yes or no? No, you don't understand that. So, Ms. Pugh, it's my understanding, I'm not going to allow you to represent yourself because you don't understand the law and the process. So we're on question number 4 out of 15 that I'm supposed to ask you. So Mr. Jeffries is going to stay on your case.
I don't know when Mr. Jeffries on my case.
I don't care what you want at this point.
I represent myself.
You can't do it. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. I'm done. Go back with the bailiff.
He's not on my case.
Go back with the bailiff.
He's not on my case.
Welcome to the criminal appointment list.
Yeah, fun, Judge.
This was not meant to be any kind of punishment, I promise. So Mr. Jeffries, get ready like you would. Probably it's going to go straight onto a jury. And we'll just get it figured out that way. All right.
In my opinion, the judge handled this situation extremely well. She showed an incredible amount of patience and gave the defendant multiple chances to speak and explain herself before finally putting an end to the chaos in the courtroom. Honestly, most people would have lost their patience much earlier, but the judge stayed calm and professional the entire time. At the same time, watching situations like this can be a little frustrating. The judge clearly tried to give this defendant every opportunity to make a reasonable argument, but it was obvious where things were heading. And for anyone watching this who might feel like they lost a few brain cells during the process, trust me, you're not alone. There's something both uncomfortable and strangely fascinating about watching these moments unfold in real time. You can practically see the gears turning as the defendant struggles to come up with another explanation for the judge's questions. Unfortunately for her, none of those arguments seemed to land. But now, I want to hear from you. What did you think about this hearing? Do you think the judge handled it the right way? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be posting new content every day, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.